guys, welcome to my channel. Let's just do a collective read to see what's going on with you. This is a general, so if it doesn't relate, then just take what you find helpful and leave the rest. Okay, so let's find out what's going on with you. Woman holding a coin. And then woman walking away. A woman walking away with her coin. That's what it feels like. Yin and yang is on the bottom. Do you know what this is? It's like someone showed up with value, and then when this makes me think of, like, you know, it's like you don't see my value, you don't recognize this coin, you know, like maybe you're assuming this is like you know, this doesn't have true value, and so like you end up walking away. That's what I'm feeling here. You're kind of like, you know what, I stay in an environment, I allow, you know, I show what I've got, I show what I have to offer, my skill set. And if you're not willing to acknowledge that, then to me, like for me as a person, what that says is they don't recognize, like they haven't done the work within themselves to recognize it in other people. So that's also experience with people and bosses. You know, if you show up in a work environment and they're not recognizing what you can bring to the team, it's because they don't have it within themselves to see in other people. Because the more I heal myself, the more I can see it in others, and where I can't see it in others, if that makes sense. Like you can see, you know, the way people treat you, the way people react with you. Have they learned to manage their emotions? You know, do they put you in uncomfortable situations so that they can be comfortable? Like these are little things that you can use to observe when you really start healing. And that's like one of the bonuses is like you can stop running into situations because you'll practice a pause and be like, and that's what it feels like. You go in, you've observed the situation, you've shown up exactly as you are, and then you're just like, you know what, I'm out. Okay, so tell me more about this in your heart space. Teach. You're a teacher. You're in teacher mode. That's why, because you're no longer the student. And believe and succeed is on the bottom. This is something like you're taking your own path. Look at this. She's got this cloak, this purple. And then she's also got like the headband and a jewel protecting her third eye there. So this is like, I don't know, this dog is really catching my eye. Okay, so you might do really well with dogs in the way that, so when I first started healing myself, like I was really stressed out, emotionally all over the place, and it showed up in my dogs. And so when you're training dogs and you've already been in there, like you can see what they're feeling, so you know how to respond to it, you know, like what helped you so you can help dogs. So I don't know if that's something someone's thinking of. Okay, so tell me more about this. Actually, I want to use this deck. Tell me more about this. It's way too much. Temptation and sacrifice. Now this might be an unpopular opinion, but there's some things I wonder, like when there's okay, so like for me, I have to watch sugar and coffee, those, and caramel. Those were my or chocolate, like caramel milk chocolate. When I was feeling whatever sort of way, those would be my comfort areas. Those would be my, you know, I would just jump on them. I wouldn't even think. I'd make excuses as to why this is okay. Even if I was trying to lose weight, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not noticing it. This one little chocolate bar, meanwhile, it's a family-sized chocolate bar. This one time won't matter. This one time won't matter. And every time you keep pushing that one time won't matter, like you're pushing away your results, your success, right? So it makes me wonder too sometimes, like some people just make a lot of excuses for certain behaviors, and things that we're labeling as diseases and things are actually like temptations. Like if we were just to say no to something, would that mean, you know, some of these things are indulgent as opposed to diseases, is what I'm wondering. It's just something I've been pondering on. I don't have all the experience in it, so I can't say for sure, but it makes me wonder. I'm kind of comparing my experience with like what others I see others are going through. So it makes me wonder. Disruption. Yeah, it's like it takes you out of alignment. Tell me about this. This is very, I just cut and dry. This is very cut and dry. It's like you show up, you're like, no, I know this is going to hurt me, so I can't do that. I see this is like so when I've been in workplaces, like I can see stuff happening and like people will be like it's not a big deal, but like if you saw the this 30 years down the line, it's a big deal. And if you see the underlying effects that aren't obvious in the black and white, and you'd see what this does, this gray zone abuse, if you knew how that played out in gray zoned diseases and health issues and behavioral issues, you'd stop it. If you knew the repercussions of allowing these temptations, these gray zones behaviors, this is like abuse, this is gaslighting, this is like letting people in the workplace just react with their emotions and like not keeping them lined in and saying like, hey, you can't yell at our employees like that, because if everyone did that, that would be a real issue, right? And we're all adults, so we all should be treating each other with respect, you know? Instead they just say, Susie over there, she has a real issue with her emotions and that's just who she is. No, that's not who Susie is. That's not who Susie is. That's who we allow Susie to be. She needs to learn how to behave as an adult, and that means reining in herself, and that like we're all accountable, because if I'm expected to do it, then she's expected to do it. If I'm capable of doing it, then she's capable of doing it, right? So we got to hold people accountable, and I feel like you've done that with a situation where you're just like, you know what, this hand is like slamming something away. These are choices. We all have choices, and I think you're recognizing like people get to choose, and that's fine if you're choosing these low vibrational behaviors. If you're choosing to sit on the couch instead of exercise, if you're choosing to eat these types of behavior or eat these types of behaviors, indulge in these things. It's like you're eating your emotions. Like there's something, because you're engaging in some sort of behavior and you're not changing, it's almost like because like you keep going in that cycle, you're always going to be wet, like with emotion, right? Like you're always going to be sad. So it's like, okay, if you keep choosing to date and you see that you're attracting the wrong type of guy, then maybe you should stop dating and then work on yourself, instead of just saying, well, that's just the type of guy, I just have to try another one. No, like you're the common denominator. You need to fix your shit, you know? And then like if that was a friend of mine who's constantly making these bad choices with bad men, and or unhealthy, we'll say, whatever, like I'm choosing to stay single and work on myself. Like I don't want to sit around and listen to her cry all the time, because I'm making the choices that she could be making. She doesn't want to. She wants to keep staying in that negative cycle. So it's like this, at some point I'm gonna have to walk away, because like it's no fun. Like it made sense when we're both bitching about like our love lives, but now I'm like, you know what, actually that's not fun. I'd rather spend my time like making my money, spending time with my kids, like just crafting or being outside, like than bitching on the phone about dumb shit. And it's like it becomes embarrassing at some point, because you're like, what am I doing? I can't believe I'm like engaging in this. And so you walk away. So it's like now this person over here who is still continuing that toxic behavior, like there's no connection there. How are you supposed to connect with that person? So like you're friends, but like, are you friends? Because like, how do you continue that connection when it's like you can't keep engaging in people? It's like if you're trying to eat healthy, you can't be around someone who is continuously like bringing junk food into your environment or around you, and someone who would rather, like, whenever you suggest let's do something, you're like, I'm gonna go play tennis or go for a walk, and they're like, well, let's go play video games or sit on the couch. You see what I'm saying? Like it's really challenging, because I'm not saying these things don't happen in the time, but it makes it really hard for those who are trying to change to be around people who 75% of the time want to be on the couch and only 25% on the time want to go for a walk, if that makes sense. Because like it does take a gradual, like for me anyways, I've experienced like where it's like I have to do this over time, and sometimes it's easier to make some large changes, but then you're still like struggling with some of these like more challenging things like caramel. And so like you're not maybe ready to give up caramel, but you have been making other changes. So that's why I say like 75%, but you can't be around someone who's like someone who is in denial. They're not making changes. And so if they can't see what the problem is, they're in denial. So if you're always having to feed them answers as to why their life sucks, and you're kind of feeling like you're the teacher and the parent, that's not a peer relationship. That's like a parenting relationship. And you see that this disruption, that is gonna, yeah, then we have waiting game for foundations and achievements. because this person is still hanging on to you energetically. They're still pulling at you, and so this is you're divided because you're like, you know what, you're like, one foot's in the past, one's in the future, and like you feel like it's almost like a guilt, like you feel guilty, or you feel like it's not always guilt, but for me it's like I would feel like it's easier to go rant on the phone and stay in bed for 4 hours. Like I would sit on the phone with this girl for 4 hours, and I liked it because I would told myself like, I deserve this. This is like me time. But you got to be careful where you're convincing yourself that you're doing something different, or you're doing something for yourself when it's really not. Like I'm still sitting for 4 hours when I could be walking, you know? And I'm still, even if I'm not the one complaining and she is, there's still like complaining in the energy. So like, where are the solutions? And like, were these solutions provided in the last couple phone calls? And you can feel like, once you feel like someone's just like, okay, you know what, like you're just not doing anything different here, that's when I have to walk away, because it's just like it's too hard. I can't pull someone on my tail when I'm trying to make change. Change is hard enough to do on your own, and when you're trying to drag people around with you, that's even more challenging. So like that's what this is like. It's time to walk away. It's time to do something different. Tell me more about this. Valentine's. This could be with drinking. This could be with sex. This could be like you have a habit of like going back to people. Or I got some really bad advice from a friend. It was a few years ago, and honestly, I regret it. She just, I don't know. I felt like I didn't have enough information about like love life, and I thought somehow she might be more experienced in this, you know. And there were times where I would put people on a pedestal because they at that time I didn't have any friends. Like that was just like, I pretty much had like one friend, and that was her. And I had some family members that were friends, but they weren't friendly, if you know what I mean. Like they just didn't have my back. So the people in my life I would put up on pedestals, and I would be like, well, they have more friends, they have a social life, they seem way more comfortable with this casual sex thing than I am. And I don't know, I was just like, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, like that, you know more than me. And then in these conversations, and just when I decided to just do me and not move forward with the advice, I don't know. I don't know how it came about, but just in our conversations, I started seeing like, this girl is a mess. Like, why am I thinking of taking advice from her? It was a mess. And I don't know what needed to happen. Like for me, I just had to like get time, and like, just, you know what? Sometimes you need those lessons to hear it, to notice it, because then you're going to use that in other areas. So like, try not to be too harsh on yourself, but just recognize like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know where they're trying to go with this. Oh, okay. Relationship advice. That's what it is. So, so like, because I also didn't have I didn't have a healthy background. Like I didn't have a healthy love resume, right? So like, I was going to other people, and you got to be careful who you go to, because like, if like, how am I trying to say this? If I should have looked at like her resume before taking advice, instead of just saying like, making these assumptions because she has more friends, she was, you know what I mean? Like, I thought she had more knowledge in like human behavior or something, or like how this stuff is supposed to work. And in reality, she did not. And she was very comfortable with a lot of things that I was not. There's a lot of things she didn't see an issue with, a lot of content that she, you know, movies even, like. And so I think for me, I'm just trying to figure out, like, for me moving forward, for my next, when that comes up, like, for me, it makes it hard to wonder if, like, I'll ever find a person that is on the same page in regards to morals and belief systems and indulgence in certain areas of life, where it's like, it's really unhealthy for a relationship. But some people just, because they make excuses, like, it's almost like she was following along with, like, you know, what everyone else is doing. And there are times when I would doubt myself, and I would be like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And I had to experience this a couple times where I'm like, no, I'm right on this. I'm right on this. And it's because I had to experience it another, like, over a period of time, different situations. So the more experience I got, the more confident I got in saying, no, this is actually really wrong. This is, you know what, just because everybody goes along with this, just because a lot of people watch porn, does not make it healthy for a relationship, and does not make it a norm in a relationship. It's not something you have to tolerate in a relationship. And just because, like for me, I want someone who is not interested in casual sex. That's not something I'm interested in. I'm very uncomfortable with that. And so I'm looking for someone who has similar morals as I do, like belief systems, and will be able to say, like, they'll have those boundaries, so I don't have to parent them. I don't want to always have to feel like I'm watching my person, or like, like a toddler. I want a man that knows how to behave like a man, and recognizes, Jezebel energy, and instead of engaging in it and partaking in it and being indulgent in it, he recognizes it and right away turns from it and says, I know what that person's intentions is. I don't need to find out more. I don't even, like, it's almost like they get it out of the corner of their eye. Instead of I'd have men who would be trying to look at, temptation at the corner of their eye, or make excuses as to why they had to go to a party, or why I wasn't going with them, or, you know what I mean? Like, just partaking in these things. Like, I want a dude who recognizes that and know exactly what that means to a relationship when they give any sort of attention to that situation, and how dangerous that can be. And like, a relationship between two people is already freaking hard enough. Why would you like, see, that's a lack of value. Why would you want to risk losing somebody over something that is just so flighty and passing and indulgent? And it's like temptation, and it's like, dude, like, it's not even what you think it is. And so that's what I'm getting from this. Tell me more about this. Spirituality, curious, spiritual person, yoga, meditating, grounding, spiritual practices, tarot reader. I mean, even the tarot community really promotes some of the stuff, like where they promote women's like freedom of like nudity and exploitation and like casual sex and stuff, because they just say like women are free and just like men. And I don't think that's beneficial to a man or a woman to be casually free with their sex and their body. Personally, I think it shows like a real lack of self-esteem and confidence, because for me, I feel like you shouldn't have to reveal everything just to show how confident you are. I think that shows like sellout energy, personally. So this is where I'm looking for, I don't know, it's hard to find, I feel. Tell me more about this. YouTube. Video going viral, recognition, YouTuber, tarot reader, success, fame. I don't know where that came from, but it's coming up in the reading. And then we have lonely, and then family gathering. These are things that you're working on right now. You're working on, because you maybe don't have the support right now that you're looking for, and you're feeling a little bit alone. Let's get a card for that as well. You're working on your YouTube channel. Maybe you're looking at making content. Tell me more about this. Liberated. Yeah, it's almost like you're like, I'm kind of fine. Like, I feel like maybe you have been alone right now. Like, you don't have your family behind you right now. You're spending a lot of time by yourself, and you are working on your own creative endeavors. And well, you're just, I feel like this is something that's crossing through your mind. Excuse me. Mental clarity, emotional liberation reclaims the happiness that all human beings deserve to experience. It comes from a place of understanding other people's feelings without sacrificing our own emotional needs and well-being. The experience of emotional liberation allows us to explore the world with confidence and compassion in our own unique way. And that's the crystals vanadinite. It's actually pretty cool. Oh, it's even got more on the information. Oh, these are other ones. Other crystals to try: labradorite, moonstone, and carnelian. So yeah, it's almost like getting to the point where you're like, I'd rather, if I don't have this, I'd rather just not have that. And it's kind of like, for me, I feel like I was always voicing my concerns about like that kind of content, and about men who feel the need to always be looking at other women when they're with me. And I know that it relates to like an insecurity, but at the same time, like I would be like, you know, that's not okay. And it was always put back on me, like it's my problem, and I'm just not willing to deal with it anymore. And so it's like, the challenge too is, though, it's like a lot of men would try to hide it, and which is unfair. Like, why just if you're so proud and everybody's doing it, why not just admit that you're doing it? Like, but you don't want to lose me, but you don't want to value me. It's really odd energy when you meet it, because they're just like, I can't be who you want or need, but I don't want to let you go. You know, like I like what you're giving to me, but I can't be the person that you need. It's like it's like, well, they make you a placeholder. They're a placeholder. It's really weird, because like they put you in the third parties, they put you in the triangulation, and you're like they're not committed. They're living in fear and insecurity, but like they know they're not good enough for you, but they don't want to admit it. They don't want to be honest with you and just say, you know what, you're right, I can't give you what you need, and then walk away. Like, that's what a real grown-ass human would be. Like, you know what, I don't believe in that. Okay, well, great. Let's like part ways then, because this is a huge deal for me, right? Instead, they just play games, and it's like they just try to it's like hoarding energy. It's like I've worked with a lady like this, where she just felt the need, like, for the attention. They just need to grab. It's like a little kid grabbing up all the stuffies and like saying mine. When they have a play date over or something, they're just like, well, what? Like, you have like 20 stuffies. I can't play with one. It's like, mine. You know. It's very selfish energy. It's very selfish. And I have experienced a lot of selfish men like that. They're just like, they know that they're not good enough for what I'm looking for, because they're just not working on themselves and they're not grown, but they don't want anybody else to have me. And so they're just willing to fuck with me and mess with me and damage, like any sort of trust I have in the male species. Yeah, it's really gross. I just spit. It's really gross. Anyways, so what do you need to know moving forward? Because I gotta keep this. Let's get some advice. Oh, where's that deck? Let's see this angel deck. This one's cut and dried. I'm sorry, this is a little all over the place. I'm just trying to do a quick reading because my internet is not working well, so I have to use my phone data, which is limited as well. So I'm just trying to get a quick reading out until I get that fixed. Partnership. Allow healthful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and career, and both parties benefit as a result. You're receiving help from heaven and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. That's perfect. That's a great card. And then on the bottom is declutter. So you'll feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. I also feel like this is a card that reminds you to maybe you got to do a quick cleanup, even if you don't want to. And like doing regular cleanups all throughout the week really help to make it easier if you're going to do that cleanup later. So this is something I've noticed. It's like I feel it. Like, I've got laundry I've got to fold on the bed. I've got dishes I gotta do. There's not a lot. It's like a little bit of everything, but because I'm like, oh, it's no big deal, I gotta get on it, and I gotta make sure, because it's very easy for me to get comfortable and do something else that I want to do. I'm actually gonna make Christmas decorations later today, and so that's something I gotta do before I make the cookies. Well, not the cookies, the decorations. They're gonna look like cookies, but they're not. There's gonna be no cookies in my life for a while, so that is okay. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna close this out. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.